I just see this around me, right? So it's more and more see them. It's not something unusual anymore to see an electric car in Tesla, for instance, or another electric car. You see them everywhere now. But maybe that's just part of the mix then in the future. Like, okay, maybe 10, 20, 30% of the cars are then electric with electric engine, and other cars are usual fuel or maybe some gas or hydrogen power or whatever, right? Maybe that's just becoming some kind of a mix, but not the 100% market share or something like this.
That's a big question. Like, it's interesting that the car manufacturers, they talk about of complete electrification until since or from the 2030s onwards. Yeah, very ambitious. Yeah, and we have to see what comes out. I was wondering, that's a personal note, because you mentioned that you are driving a hybrid. Why wasn't it tried to go this step in between via hybrids and saying like, yeah, okay, we try to move towards electromobility, but consciously by going first to hybrid. And because lots of problems could have been solved or would not have occurred in the first place, like the whole problem of charging infrastructure, of travel distances, and all these kind of things. So things could have been smoothed out. Yeah? And another factor I wonder that is never discussed in electrification, be it by hybrids or full e-cars, is the question of noise, which makes, of course, a major difference. And as I'm myself a city dweller, I can tell here from my own experience. And even like that now, the taxi fleet have very much changed to e-cars. It's really what a relief, like and that this noise is out, because when you have circling cars around your quarter, especially in the evenings or something like that, and that makes really a difference. And that difference can be also heard, yeah, or not so heard by two-wheelers, that you have now these e-scooter, or better e-roller services, and people use them, and that makes also a major impact simply by questions of noise.
Yeah, I think, but is that really a request from the user of mobility? Isn't that more for the environment? Because when I sit in the car, yeah, it's nice that it's a nice feeling, maybe that it's not so noisy, but if you don't really pay attention to that, and you don't see the difference from the inside of the car of a fuel engine or an electric engine. I mean, when you're really driving slow, then you recognize the difference. But when you drive 100 or so, then you don't see any difference, right? From the noise perspective. But for my neighbors, for instance, it might be nice when I drive out.
That makes a major difference. The interesting thing is exactly what you also mentioned, that it's, of course, especially marked when you drive rather slowly. So this effect, of course, is especially felt in cities again. And also, like, just when you have like circling cars looking for a parking slot or something like that, like that is really a nuisance. Like, you're in a neighborhood and and cars are circling around 3-4 times, or then they're maneuvering forward, backward, and you have always this noise in the background, and that is just disappearing with an e-car. And that is much more disturbing also in the neighborhood than having rather fast cars traveling by on a rather fast road. There you have exactly what you mentioned, like these wind noises and other noises, which become then more important when you drive in high speed. also on the autobahn or something like that. Yeah. So that difference is not that strong anymore. But especially like in urban environments, smaller velocities.
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently optimistic about the trend of changing to more e-mobility, and even retaining the let's say the demand of the people to show their values. Just as an example, for one of our customers, we had to develop uh, the the noise for the cars when they are on low speed. I think that's even in Germany also a requirement. When the electric vehicle is at low speed, they need to make some noise so that you hear there is a car around,
Yeah.
right? And we developed these kind of solutions. And as far as I know, that Porsche, they want to bring out the electric vehicles, but for the consumers, for the owners of Porsche, it's really important to have this noise. And I know that right now they even have kind of a way to set the right noise for the
Yeah.
car. And
Yeah.
for the future, they want to retain this feature, but it will be not the real noise from the engine. It will be just some sound noise, right?
Exactly.
So you can retain the same kind of, or you can provide this feature, but it's a different way provided to the end
Yeah.
user.
Yeah.
But it gives more possibilities for customization. So you could, for instance, switch this off when you are in when it's early in the morning or so, right? And you don't want to wake up your neighbors or so, and can switch it on when you are at the festival or something like this.
Yeah. As you have already also with combustion engines, yeah, you have similar gadgets already, yeah, to give an extra sportive sound or something like that. And yeah, it's a bit funny, yeah, because it's theatrical. It's obviously then fake and complete fake. And but again, it shows how important it is to people. Like also with this kind of image, like I drive this sportive car, and I expect that this car has a certain sound. Otherwise, it's not a real sportive car to me. Yeah, and so that's interesting, and that would be interesting to observe whether this changes over time, and whether this is also an expectation of a certain generation, which then will disappear and recede more and more in future, and maybe in future, really, people would like to have more this kind of Batman feeling, like this silent, sleek, but very fast and impressive vehicle strolling the city. Yeah.